Hello. Welcome back to our third segment in the FiveM restaurant tutorial. In our last video, we worked on removing the door entrance so that we can actually walk inside of our MLO. Today, we are going to focus on building the interior. It's going to be fairly simple. So if you look over here to the bottom left hand corner, you will be able to see what buttons I am pressing. I am going to also be telling you what I'm doing, but just in case I'm moving along too fast, you can definitely look down here at the bottom left hand corner. You can definitely look down here at the bottom left hand corner to see what I am pressing. All right, so to begin, we are going to be basically adding in a plane by pressing Shift and A. I am in object mode. Make sure you are in object mode. You want to press Shift A, and then you will, this add menu will pop up. So you want to go down to where it says mesh, and we are going to add a plane. I usually build all of my interiors or MLOs starting with a plane. I don't typically like to use a cube, though you can. I don't typically do that because it can become a bit complex when you're trying to get the shape and design that you, or floor plan that you desire. So we're going to start with the plane. Click on it and you will see it's here in the world. If you go under or inside of your building, you will see that there is now a plane here. I'm going to come up here to the top middle where this little magnet icon is. I'm going to turn it on. Then I'm going to click this drop down and I'm going to select edge. So basically it's going to snap our target, which is our plane, to edges. What I want to do is snap it to the way I am using clicking in middle mouse button and then just to rotate myself inside of the building. Basically going to hover over this edge right here, which is basically the bottom of the entrance window. I'm going to hover over this edge and I'm going to press G. You will see that if your plane does not have the orange outline, all you need to do is click on it, and then it will have the orange outline to indicate that it is the active object that is selected in our viewport. Okay, with it selected, you want to come over here to the bottom of the window, the edge of the window, and you're going to press G, and it's basically snapping it to the edge of the frame. If you hover over any edge, it'll basically snap it to any edge. For those who are new to Blender, it'll snap it to all the edges, but we're just going to put it here. Doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that, because we are going to be doing some moving things around to get it to be exactly where we want and need it to be. In fact, I snapped it to this outside edge, which I really don't want to do because the walls are going to be really close together. I don't want it to be at the bottom, snap to the bottom of the frame, because when I raise the walls up, this outside face and the inside face are going to be clipping together. So what I want to do is bring this plane in some so that it doesn't clip. So what I'm going to do is bring it into line up with the edge of the bottom of the window, like here. Instead of out here, it's going to be more into there. So what I'm going to do is just hover over the edge of the window, of the bottom of the window right here with my mouse, hover over it. Then I'm going to press G, and if I place it here, you will see that it kind of has moved now, which I don't want. So to prevent that from happening, I'm going to press Control Z, and I'm going to go back here. I'm going to hover over this edge. I'm going to press G, but I'm going to lock it to the Y axis by pressing Y, and now we will have it so that it is lined up with the bottom of the window. And I was able to do that by locking it to the Y axis. And the Y axis is the axis that goes this way right here. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into edit mode and do the same thing again. Go into edit mode, and then we're going to, if you press tab, it will take you into edit mode. You can tab in and out of edit mode. You can also just come up here to this drop down up here where it says object mode, click the drop down and then click on edit mode. I'm going to turn on edge select, which is this button right here. And then I'm going to select this right edge, and I'm going to basically hover over the edge of this window over here on the right side of the building. I'm going to hover over this edge, and I'm going to press G, and this time instead of locking it to the y-axis, we're going to lock it to the x-axis, so it'll go directly, you know, to the right without being raised up or lower down. It'll go straight to the right on the x-axis. And I'm just going to continue to do that until I get this floor all the way to the back of the building, basically. Okay, so let me do this left side edge right here. I'm gonna click on that one, and I'm going to click on this, well, hover over this left side edge right here, G and X. So I press G, and then I press X, and then I left click to place it, to lock it. And then let me make sure it's what I need. It is not what I need, actually. I want it to come here, G and X. That's better. For whatever reason, make sure it doesn't go all the way to the outside wall, because again, when you raise the walls up, you're gonna have to end up moving your walls in so that they are not clipping. I'm gonna click on this backside edge, and I'm gonna go all the way here. And again, I'm not gonna go all the way to the edge. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of going to this wall here, I'm gonna see, I think this is an edge. It looks like an edge. What I'm gonna do is, yeah, here I'm gonna go to about here, which will make it so we don't go clip into this back wall. I'm gonna hover over this, press G and Y, and then left click, and now everything should be fine. All of the edges of our plane should be inside of the building. Go to the bottom, and you know, to see, and go into bottom orthographic to see even more. How did I go into bottom orthographic? I basically just rotate it to the bottom with middle mouse button, and then I just press Alt and it'll snap you into bottom orthographic. Okay, and it works the same with the sides too. Left orthographic, rotate, press Alt, right orthographic, top orthographic. It works. All right. Okay, so now that we've done that, what we want to do is, I do want to show you this little part right here. I was thinking about leaving it, but no need. If this is a restaurant, let's also give ourselves this right here. What we need to do is basically make it so that this, how do I say it? This plane extends into this area over here for our drive-through window. Okay. The way that we do that, while in edit mode, we're basically just going to add some loop cuts, and we're going to add them and snap them to the bottom of these windows here. So basically what you're going to do in order to make loop cuts is press Control R, and you will see that this loop or line edge has, if you hover over this, the top edge or the side edge over here of your plane while facing in the direction of the drive-through window, you will see this yellow vertical line pop up. And what you do next is basically left click, right? You're gonna left click, and then once you left click, you're able to drag the line wherever you want it to go. But since we have snapping turned on, I'm just gonna hover over this edge right here of the window, not down here. Hopefully it's picking up on what I'm trying to get it to do. There we go. Yeah, so make sure it's not snapping to this edge down here, and you might need to, you can move the mouse slightly to make sure, or just go from one of these edges of the window to make sure, and then you press left click to place it. And there's one edge loop cut one loop cut that we added, and we're going to do it again, basically pressing Control R, then hover over this edge, and then left click to move it around, and then we're just going to hover over. Just got to make sure we're going getting the right edge. This is not the edge that we want. We want it to be slightly away from it. I'm pretty sure this is the one that we want. If it's not, then I'll fix it. So once I get the edge that I want, I'm going to just left click to place it. And then now that we have created these basically additional edges in our plane, if you click off, you'll be able to see them. these additional edges on our plane, what we're going to do is select this edge right here, this one, and we are going to extrude this edge. Where are we going to extrude it? I am going to extrude it to this window right here. Or hold on, not that one. I'm going to extrude it to this one, the edge of this window right here. Let me make sure that's what I want. Yeah. No. I'm going to extrude it to this one. This one right here. Because I want the wall to be slightly I'm just thinking about if I were to create a window frame, the frames for this drive-through, where I would want the wall to be for it. And I want it to be further in from the outside wall, but I don't want it to be too far in. So I'm going to snap it to this one. And in order to do that, it's not by pressing G, because G is going to bring the entire floor with you. And you don't want to bring the entire floor or the entire plane. You just want to bring this edge out. In order to do that, all you do is hover over this edge, press E, and it's basically extruding from that plane. Hover over this edge, and we are going to press X to lock it to the X axis. And now we have this face right here that was extruded from this edge. All right. Perfect. There's one other thing. Since we're already here, what I want to do is create the loop cuts for the doorway. We're not gonna cut the doorway out until we raise the walls up, but I want to go on and add the edges, so that once I bring the door up, it'll be a lot easier to get what I want. Typically, sometimes I'll do this after I raise the walls up, and then I'll just like basically raise the walls up and then add the edge loops for the shape of the door and cut that face out, just like we did similar to how we did for the exterior of the building when we initially opened this door. But since we're here again, I'm just going to go on and add 2 loops here for the door. And you don't have to do this right now, you can wait until later, but I am going to do that just to save myself some time. So Control R, hold on, just need to see something. Okay, I just need to see that edge. Basically Control R, hover over this edge to get the yellow line to pop up, and then I'm gonna hover over that, and that should be in line. Yes. And then again, I'm gonna do it again. Control R. Did I do it? I did, but for whatever reason that was weird. Okay, Control R, I couldn't see it, and then place it there. Perfect. We haven't cut the door out yet, but I did want to just go on and add those loops. All right. Now what we need to do is raise the walls up. In order to do that, you're going to hover over one of the outside edges, hold down Alt, or click on one of the outside edges, hold down Alt and click again. Click twice to get it to select everything, or maybe 3 times. But what you want to do is have this whole outer edge of our floor plan selected. Okay. Now with all of those edges selected, we are going to raise our walls up, and I think I want to raise them. I'm just going to do it to this edge right here, and all we do is press, with those edges selected, press E, and then Z to lock it to the Z axis so that we go straight up. And then that's pretty much it. You see the windows are clipping through. That's fine. Those would typically disappear if you were to create windows for the outside. We'll bring those sides in just for the sake of this video. We'll bring the sides in so that it's not flickering like that, because that can be so triggering. But let's open up the door fully. We've already created the loops for the edges for the exterior of the door. We just need this horizontal loop now. So what you're going to do is press Control R, hover your mouse over here, Control R, and then hover your mouse over one of these vertical edge loops. one of the edges of the door to get the horizontal loop, and then left click, and we're just gonna snap it to the bottom of this window, the top of the door, basically. I said the bottom. The bottom of the top window of the door, or just the top of the door, and then left click, and now we have the door. If you turn on face select up here in the top left hand corner, turn on the faces, and then select this face, X, delete faces, and now we have the door is open. Okay, that flickering is driving me. So what I'm gonna do with face select still selected. Actually, yeah. I'm gonna select these faces, hold down shift, and just select all the faces over there. Turn off snapping up here. Turn this off. And then I'm just going to go on the outside and just press G, X, and then I'm just gonna move that in slightly so that the windows aren't flickering. Again, if you want to cut your windows out, you can. I didn't for the sake of this video, this tutorial. I did show you how to cut the door, so it's really just the same process. I'm going to do the same thing for this side also. G, X, then just move it in slight. Move it in enough so it's not clipping. And then you want to do it for here also. Yeah. G and then Y. Okay. Yeah, that works. And then there's some more flickering going on over here. Did I not move that? I did. Let's get these. This window here. G and X. You wouldn't have to do this if you had cut your windows. It will be lined up perfectly. So all that stuff I said about lining up the window and all of that with the wall, you know, kind of redundant because I didn't actually open the window. So I'm moving these also by pressing G and Y. Kind of redundant because I myself am not opening the windows currently. But I did do that. So now we have our walls up, our door is open, and now we need to add our ceiling. So all you're gonna do is turn edge select mode back on. Up here, select this top edge, hold down Alt, and click a couple of times to make sure the entire loop is selected. You can just press F to fill, and it should fill it. Let me go above it to see what it created. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I just want to make sure. And I'm going to move this down G by pressing G and Z. Move it down to be below. Doesn't have to be all the way up there to that top edge. There we go. All right. And that's basically our interior. These back areas, I'm just going to give you some ideas on what you can build for yourself. If you tab, you can tab back into edit object mode if you want. I'm gonna actually go back into edit mode so that I can see the floor a little bit better with the lines and everything. All right, so you can have, so we have this drive through. So the restaurant for like the public would typically, I would say, cut off maybe I was pressing caps for some reason. If this is a drive through, then you would want your restaurant to cut off like for the public, maybe like here, maybe on this side. You could have like some places for, depending on what kind of restaurant you have. If it's like fast food, then you can have places for, to get cups for drinks and stuff over here. If you think about McDonald's or something, that's what I'm visualizing, a restaurant like that, where you go up to the counter and on one side of the restaurant, you can see the drive-through from where you're standing. So I'm imagining there's a counter here, and I can see the drive-through over here. So you could have those things set up, and then you would have your counter where all the registers going maybe about halfway or a little more than halfway to about right here, where all of this area from here and back could be the kitchen, or maybe even manager's office for this area over here. What else? and then over here you can have the restrooms for the public to use. That's what I'm thinking, maybe like a hallway to go here and an entrance for your employees to get behind the counter. And then you would need your tables and everything to be set out here. I may do a full build of this restaurant if you are interested in, seeing me build the full thing with furniture and props and everything. I might do something for members on the YouTube channel where I show that. Or you can, how do I say it? If for members, I also have a full course, I should say, a full course that shows you how to build certain types of furniture and everything and put them in your MLO. You can have complete access to the course by checking the description box and signing up for a monthly membership. As a result of studying with me in the online campus, you will learn how to create MLOs with ease. And I'm interested in helping those who are serious about making MLOs. So who do you know? Who do you know is ready to get out of their own way and finally create high quality MLOs? If that is you or your friend, please just you can join the online campus and have full access to the full course. This week, the Ultimate MLO course 2.0 version 2.0 goes live, where I'm showing you basically everything in the first and 1.0, how to build everything with the the latest program versions and so on and so forth. We have pools, custom doors, custom furniture, and so much more. The membership also gives you access to the Bridges, Islands, and Terrains course if you're interested in building islands. You want to know how to do just cut mapping around the world with props, building your own props and placing them around the world. Maybe you want to create outdoor events, concerts, baby shower events, just Valentine's, seasonal things, Valentine's, weddings, whatever the case may be. That's what the Bridges, Islands, and Terrains course is for. You get access to that with the membership. If you are interested in joining the membership, just check the description box for the link. All right, let us continue with this build. Okay, so I want to do one more thing before I end this video, which is basically add the door frame. In our next video, we're going to add our material for this video. So that we can then move forward and putting this into our server. All right, but I just want to quickly add a frame for our door, for ease of make it easier when we are in CodeWalker and we have to position this. What we're going to do is basically tab back into object mode or come up here and select object mode. And what I'm going to do is press Shift A to bring up the add menu, and this time we are going to add a cube, and you'll see that it added our cube here. Just going to turn snapping back on for a second, and I'm just going to press G and just snap our cube to the outside of the building. Turn snapping off, and I went into front orthographic by rotating with the middle mouse button and then pressing Alt to snap me into front orthographic. I'm just going to basically position this to be where I need it to be so I can resize it. As best as possible. Try to get it as close as possible to the middle. You don't have to do it exactly how I do it. I'm just gonna size it up, maybe here, scale it down on the Z axis. I go into this view and then turn on X-ray. I went into solid view mode, and then I click this button to go into X-ray so that I can see through the building. So I scaled down on the Z axis. I think I'm going to move it up on the Z axis. I do want the bottom of this cube to be slightly beneath, a little bit beneath the edge of the building. But before I do that, I'm going to basically just scale it on the Z axis. That works. And I'm going to scale it on the X axis to bring it in. I am going to scale it back up on the Z axis just so I can have more room to work with. Now we need to focus on the Y axis. I'm going to go back to the material preview. You can turn off X-ray. And then I'm just going to press S and Y to scale it on the Y axis. then G and Y to move it inside of here. Okay, now I can see a little bit better. I'm going to scale it on the x-axis to just make it line up more. I don't want it to be, I mean, it really depends on you, what your artistic creativity is. And we could leave it here like kind of in the center. Scale it on the X. This is really up to your personal preference of where you want to line up your frame. Because I didn't delete these frames here because I kind of like them. Well, I like the idea of the windows being here. I'm thinking just bring it to the edge. Yeah. I'm gonna go into edit mode, press X, tab into edit mode, turn on face select this, and then I'm just gonna move this to be like that. Or maybe even just a little bit more. Yeah, just a little bit more. It's okay. It's like the reason why I didn't want to do that because it's kind of clipping through the glass. It's kind of clipping through the glass, so I didn't want it to clip through the glass. What I do want is to move. Let's just move it back like more like halfway. Yeah, or more like that. Maybe right there is fine. You have to basically test this out and to get it to like look how you want it to look. Oh, okay. I just noticed something. I'm gonna move this back. I need it to be. Okay, we'll just leave it out there, but go back into edit mode. We're gonna take this back face and then just move it G and Y, move it out so that it's coming in and it's actually framing the door on the inside too, not just on the outside. All right, so now that we've done that, we basically position it to be where we want it to be, maybe even a little bit more. Yeah. We have this back face selected, and then we're going to select this side over here also. What you're going to do when you have the front and back face selected is press I to inset and just drag your mouse in just a little bit to create a frame. And then press X and delete those faces. Go back and turn on the edge select mode. I'm going to select the bottom edges of our door frame. So we'll have these two edges right here selected. Just hold down shift to select both. And then you press F to fill. And then I'm going to select the left side of this left side edge over here of the bottom of the door frame. And just press F over and over until it fills up the entire doorway. Okay. All right. So the last thing that I want to do before I join this to our main building is move this bottom, the bottom of the door frame down. But all I do is select this top face of the bottom of the door frame, press G and Z. And I'm just going to move it closer to the actual floor. So it's not like a huge step up or down from the door frame. Okay, and then there we have it. We have our door frame. And now what we're going to do is with our door frame select, I want you to hold down shift and select your interior and then press Control J to join it together. Now our door frame is joined to our interior. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I really, really, really hope this is helping you. Again, I'm taking it slowly, but I am about to be uploading, I guess you say more frequently, rolling out these videos to finish up this tutorial. If you would like for me to go through the complete build for this, including the interior, just leave a comment down below and let me know that, because I typically do not do a complete build of these MLOs. I just basically walk you through the process of how to create an interior and make it game ready for your server. Create an MLO and make it game ready for your server. How to actually turn what you model into an MLO. Okay. But if you would like me to go through the process of the furniture design, the doors, anything, or just how I would do it, how I would do this, let me know, and I will upload those videos. But if I upload those videos, it will be for members only. Okay, because it kind of wouldn't be fair to everyone who has purchased the course or who has signed up for the online campus membership to get this kind of content, learning content, and then all of a sudden I start releasing it to the public. So with that being said, if you want me to do that, just leave me a comment below and I will create those videos here for the YouTube, but it will be for members only, members of the YouTube channel only. What else? Is there anything else? In our next video, I'm going to show you how to add your materials, and where you can, show you where you can get materials, for your interiors. Right now in the Discord, there is a complete forum with a whole list of websites where you can get, materials from. In the online course, the online campus, I actually teach you how you can make your own materials or bake your materials using Blender Kit with these materials here. There are some really good materials that you can use with Blender Kit if you know how to bake them and yourself. If you don't know how to bake them, then you cannot use these. you would not have any do well with trying to do these. But yeah, these are really good materials that you can use. Look at this. A whole, like if you had like a strawberry patch or a strawberry farm, it has materials for that. What are these? Peanuts? Kind of like pistachios, but it says peanuts. And then different types of, what are these? Blueberry. That's so cool. This is actually my first time seeing it. That is so cool. Different types of fabric if you are into clothing. Different types of brick. Oh, these are really good. I really like this one. Metal. Different types of wood. Oh my God. This one is really good too. All right, so check the description box for those. It's ivy. Okay, I haven't looked at these in a while, and it updates. I've been updating it, but I haven't been checking it after I update it. Wow, these are really nice. Pine needles, forest floor. You know what that reminds me of? This reminds me of, where'd it go? This reminds me of the if it was darker, if you bake this and then make it, or maybe you can make it darker in Blender. But if this color was darker, it reminds me of the floor at the playground that the kids play on. Like it's not just dirt and grass. They have like the fake floor. That's what this looks like to me. But I do show you how to bake materials in the online campus, in the Ultimate MLO course. All right. I think that is everything. And 2.0 releases this week for those who are using the latest versions of the programs Blender and Solemns and CodeWalker. 2.0 releases this week. Okay, that's all I have to say. I love you. Join the Discord. Link is in the description box. Let me know if you want me to create those videos for members. Leave a comment. I'll see you guys in our next video. Bye.